Hello, Augies Worldwide. I'm Dave Kassler, amateur radio call sign KE0OG, here with another episode of Ask Dave. In a recent video, we reviewed this Idahill power supply. We also reviewed one by Blue Eddy. Apparently, there are a lot of them out there. I was watching a young fellow on his solar energy channel, and he had quite a stack of them. So we've got a new one here. This is from AllPower, and it's a 500 water. So let's take this out and see what we've got here. Nice packaging. Hard to get into. There we go. And it has right up top the instruction manual. It's called a portable solar generator. Actually, this is the battery part. You can buy the solar panel separately. Okay, so we have, here's the actual unit. Which is smaller than the other ones. And then here are the cables in a little box. Okay, just take a look at what cables we have. This consists of the AC charger right there, and this is the plug that goes into the AC charger right there, and that plugs into the wall. It's got the US plug on it, ready to go. Now let's take a look at the device itself. Okay, this is the AllPowers one right here. Okay, it's got an input, and notice finally we have Anderson power pole connectors, so this makes it great for hams. You can put an input there or an input there, and that's like from a charger or a solar panel can go there. Okay, we have one standard power takeoff there. Okay, for 12 volts. On the front we have lights, and we have two of them if you want. I'm blinded now. This is the DC. Okay, this is the AC. Doesn't seem to be anything coming out of that. And this is just a Bluetooth. This has a little feature where you can connect it to your cell phone with an app from AllPowers and control it. The DC comes on there. I don't see the AC. Let's try the AC and see if it works. I've got a drill here. Okay. This is what's called a screw shooter. It's basically a drill. 100. By the way, we haven't charged it yet with American electrons, just so these are the Chinese electrons in here. Okay, so you have to hold on the AC button for 3 seconds to do power on or power off. There. Whereas the DC is pretty much instantaneous. So it's got a fan of its own inside. Okay, this tells you how much it has left in there, depending on the output. These say are a watt each. Okay, now let's see if we can connect this to the oscilloscope like we did the other one. We have to plug this in partially. And now we notice on here, looking at this, that this is a so-called pure sine wave, but we notice the steps in the sine wave are a little more granular than they are on the Ida Hill or Blue Eddy. We see 117 volts peak to peak. Okay, and this, oddly enough, is a 50 hertz. 50 hertz, a little bit over 50 hertz. Now, I'm wondering if there's some way we can change that to be 60 hertz so that it would line up more with the American version of things here. Let's play, first of all, we'll download the app and see what we can get for it. Okay, so we discovered that the thing was set for 50 hertz, and after a lot of trouble, we were able to download the app from AllPowers, okay, and this now shows the 61%. Now, there are a couple things. We can turn on the LEDs there, okay, with the phone. Turn on the 12 volts, which you can see turns on the DC there. And turn on the USB power, okay, and turn on and off AC power. And when we turn that off here, it disappears from the scope, so it's gone there. Okay, so whoops, we just lost our little thing here. Okay, so here we have the ability to go 50, 60 hertz. If this, did we have our power on?
You turn back on.
We have to turn that on. Okay, so that shows up over there. Okay, and it shows up as 50 hertz. So here on the app, there is a little place right here where we turn that to that direction, and it just changed to 60 hertz. Okay, so that's how you can change back and forth for this. Now this is a, let's see, these are the apps to get the app for Android, iOS. And this is the only one so far that I've seen with an app. Now, let's look over here on the side. We saw here, this is charging input. You've got Anderson power pole connectors, so you can connect this to a solar panel that goes up to 18 volts, which means a 12 volt solar panel. Okay, and this can be from the house charger. Here it takes about 6 hours to charge. Now let's look over here on the side. Okay, we've got a couple, that's an old USB. Here's the USB 3.0s, and there's the USB-C. Okay, and then we've got 2 times the 12 volt output. Now these take a different power cord than, and that looks like the big hole. This is not going to go in, I don't think. No, it's too small. I've got bigger ones that will do that. But you can take off DC power right here. You can charge your phone here, okay. You can charge your AC devices by plugging them into here. You've got DC, you can plug in DC like if you have a 5 volt DC that plugs in that way, that works. Okay, so there it is. Now, this thing is, oh, this has already come off. There we go. Okay, now this sine wave pattern is not as smooth as the Ida Hill or the Blue Eddy, but it's perfectly adequate for electronic devices. We've also discovered it will power an inductive load. So if we look at this, okay, we see that when we turn that on, it affects the waveform a little bit, which you would expect for something like this, but otherwise it's fine. So let's look over here. If we look over here at the Amazon, it's the AllPowers portable power station, 500 watt. What that means is 500 watt hours, okay? 500 watt peak and so on. 606 watt hours. And the battery itself is 164 amp hours. And I don't know what voltage that is for the battery. Backup battery with 2 outlets for sine wave power, for camping roads, trip, off-grid, and we talked about the other things that it will do. So these things are readily available. If you buy it directly from AllPower, it's a little bit more expensive, so I would recommend buying it from Amazon, especially if you're Amazon Prime, because then you can get the shipping paid for it, and this is a rather heavy little item. So to compare that with the Idahill over here, the Idahill's a little bit bigger. It's got everything on the front panel except the light. Okay, and this will charge, has a special input for solar system that goes up to 30 volts. Whereas on this right here, you want to put in your solar system here. This is the only one that has an Anderson power pole in, but oddly enough, it has no Anderson power pole out. So what do I think of it? Well, it joins the list. There are lots of these out there. The one that everybody seems to compare to in their YouTube videos is the Jackery. I don't know if that's because Jackery came first or whatever. I mean, these all seem like fine units. We showed it on the oscilloscope. We tested it with an inductive load. On this one, this is uniquely has Bluetooth, and using the Bluetooth, which took some doing, using it with the Bluetooth, we were able to change the 50 hertz to 60 hertz. Okay, on these other ones here, they come 60 hertz, and you can't go back and forth, but this one inexplicably came set up for everything American, meaning 120 volt, well, 117 volt, and all that, but 50 hertz. You'd think it would come up 60, and then you would change back to 50 if you had any special uses for it. So there you have it. If you would like to help support this channel, please go to dcastler.com/support. Also, if you would like to enter giveaway number 6, send a postcard, a QSL card, or a single-page letter to Dave Castler, KE0OG, P.O. Box 98, Ridgeway, Colorado, and we will have, that's 81432, and we will have the drawing the first Thursday of February, because I'll be on the road for the last one of the month. So there you have it. Until we next meet, 73.